This week on Basketball Wives.
You got a problem with me? Y'all talk to me. Stop talking amongst everybody. I'm here. Talk to me.
Why she would invite Jen to Evelyn's birthday house, I have no idea.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Basketball Wives, Season 12, Episode 4. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the first scene of the episode is Jennifer and Christian having dinner, lunch, whatever it is, with Christian's uncle, aunt, and one of their friends. They will be attending Jennifer's wedding here in Vegas. Someone who is not going to be invited to the wedding, obviously, is Evelyn. So they talk about that. Jennifer lets them know, and she tells the family that Evelyn is not used to people sticking up for her, and she's just so bothered, and she's so mad. But this is kind of crazy. So the reason she's saying this is because Evelyn made some shady, cryptic, dumb posts on Instagram, which, you know, we gotta be fair, it was dumb of Evelyn to do that. Like, why are you on Instagram, you know, with these cryptic comments talking about Jennifer? Like, it is weird. But Christian's family got underneath the comments, and the auntie is on here saying that she don't play, she's not scared, and she says that Evelyn better keep her nephew's name out her mouth before she snatches it from her mouth. Oh my goodness. Listen, like I said, should Evelyn even be on social media talking about all this stuff? No. But to me, this is just me, I thought it was a little immature for these grown people who look like they might be getting ready to be 60 to be fighting on Instagram comments. Like, come on. It feels a little immature, a little ratchet. And I don't know, it also feels like, just based off this scene, I don't know, you guys, it kind of feels like Christian has all the people around him kind of like brainwashed into like defending him against the world. It's kind of weird. So speaking of Evelyn, she invited Brandi, Brittany, and Denise over to her house just to hang out, get to know them a little better. Brandi jokes about Evelyn sort of being the one who got the ball rolling on the whole Tai thing, because remember, it was Evelyn who said to Tai, Brandi thinks you're cute. So that started all that, which was just meant to be kind of fun and lighthearted. Brandi then tells them that she met up with Jennifer recently. They had lunch, and Jennifer told her that basically she needed to mind her business when it came to her relationship with Christian. But Brandi also tells them that Jennifer's wedding is going to be in Vegas. And first of all, Evelyn's like, I told y'all that she wasn't married. She needs to get married because she's not, so I was correct. But the crazy part is that Jennifer is getting married the day of Evelyn's birthday. So Messy Brandi has the idea of, why not celebrate Evelyn's birthday in Vegas, since Brandy's gonna be in Vegas anyway. This is so messy, but I'm here for it because this is so dumb. Like, really, is this what we're doing? So then Jennifer FaceTimes Ming and Jackie to formally invite them to the wedding in Vegas. They both happily accept, and Ming asks who is gonna go, and Jennifer says it's just gonna be you two and Brandi. So Ming says to her, well, I just got a FaceTime where I was invited to go to Vegas at the same time, but for Evelyn's birthday celebration. And Jennifer says, oh, well, I definitely won't be participating in none of that. Jackie says that she's going to try and just support everybody as much as she can. So then we see Brittany, Chantel, and Denise go to a dance class. Poor Chantel can't dance. She has no rhythm, but at least she was trying. Now, let me say this. So they're talking about the Vegas trip after they did their little dance class and whatnot. And then Chantel goes on this whole tirade about drama and how against it she is, and I don't like drama and people talking and all this stuff. Chantel, why are you on the show? I mean, like, you know what this show is. Like, were you expecting to be on Sister Circle, HGTV, the Food Network? Like, I don't know why she's, you know, so mad about people talking about each other. Like, you might need to get off the show if that's what your attitude is gonna be. So then in the next scene, Ming and Tai meet up at the beach. Tai brings her some flowers, In a way, I'm like, ugh, I'm kind of over like this relationship, but in another way, on the other hand, I kind of also want to see every minute of it. I don't know. I feel like the couple aspect of it is kind of interesting. And to be fair, Tai is super charismatic and interesting to watch, and Ming is a little bit as well. So yeah, I definitely want to see. So the reason why they're there is because Ming called Tai over so they could talk, because they are going on this trip together, and she wants to make sure that they're going to be cool. So Ming lets her know, I just simply don't trust you right now. And Tai says, well, do you think that time could help with that? Because I would love there to be a possibility. Like, I actually went to just go get my eggs checked, and somebody went with me because I didn't want to go alone. And so then Ming says, well, let me guess, it was your girlfriend. So now Ming is referencing Brandi as Tai's girlfriend. She's definitely jealous. Now, Tai is telling Ming that when she talked to Brandi, she did let her know that Ming had thought that Brandi was being shady towards her, but Brandi said it wasn't true. And I think that there was probably some shady energy towards each other. Maybe there was. But I think the fact that there's now been this whole back and forth about it, like Ming told Jennifer, Ming told Tai, Tai told Brandi. The back and forth is just going to make this worse than what it is, But Tai and Ming agree to be cool for the trip. We really quickly see Jennifer and Christian talking, and it's similar to what they've been saying so far. We good, we're unbothered, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, the women get ready, they pack, and then it's the day of the trip. So when they get there, everybody's there except Jennifer, who obviously, she's going separately, and Chantel isn't there either. She went separately as well. But everybody else, they meet up, and they're going to go on 2 vans. So Brandi splits them up. Van 1 is Jac'Eil, Brandi, Denise, and Tai. And then the second one is Brittany, Ming, and Evelyn. And Ming, right away feels that Brandi is like, but the fact that she put Tai in her van, she feels like Brandi's trying to get underneath her skin. So on the vans, some of them talk about Jennifer's wedding. Brittany and Tai are wondering why weren't they invited. Oh, so Brandi brings up that Jennifer told her that Ming thinks that she was being shady towards her over something about makeup. So Brandi says, I think that the real problem is this one. So she points to Tai. I will say Van 1 was definitely the one with the best vibe. They were drinking and dancing, having a good time. Anyway, they eventually get to Las Vegas. Chantel got there too, so they had this house that they got. I thought it was kind of sad though, to be honest. I gotta say this. When Chantel got there, she gave a hug to every single one of the women except her mom. That's kind of unfortunate. I don't know, it's just sad to see. Ming says that she's gonna cook, and then she says, we're not gonna let Brandi cook. They said your dressing was not cooked in the middle. You see Ming, you starting the shade already. So then they go to choose their rooms. Most of them have to share, but it's okay because the rooms have like 2 beds, each of them. And then the rooms are also kind of interesting because they're sort of like interconnected. And Brandi and Ming's rooms are directly connected, so they're going to literally share a bathroom. So then they go to the kitchen to get started with the cooking, and Brandi tells everybody that she actually invited Jennifer tonight. And Evelyn's like, what? Like, this is my birthday. Brandi's like, not today. Not today, it isn't, but I wanted to include her. Ming then says, I love Jennifer, but I would never invite her here. Why would you even come here in the first place? And Brandi's like, well, it's Evelyn's birthday. Did you not get the memo? But the reason Brandi invited her was because earlier when they were in the vans, Jennifer actually sent a super nice text message to Brandi, kind of just thanking her for sharing this special moment with her. And Brandi was touched by it, and she doesn't want to ice out Jennifer. Also, there was a bit of a fight with Ming and Brandi because, Brandi said that she's going to help Ming cook. And then Ming says, I brought this seasoning because Brandi needs it. And Brandi's like, what are you trying to say by that? Are you trying to come for my food? Are you trying to come for my business? And I was like, ladies, it's not that serious. Why are we fighting about seasoning? And y'all barely know each other. But I will say, Ming is the one that kind of kept poking. Then we see Jennifer and Christian go to the courthouse. I think they got married. I don't know. Back in the house, the other women are not in agreement with Brandi inviting Jennifer to the house, and they're kind of all talking about it. Most of them agree with that. So they kind of gathered at Chantel's room, and they're talking about Brandi. And Ming says, yeah, Brandi likes to throw the rock and hide her hand. And Ming starts to go off topic, and she says, Brandi's been throwing shots at me. She talked about my makeup. It's a backhanded compliment. And mind you, Brandi can hear all this because the walls are kind of thin. So she goes in there and says, I didn't say nothing bad to you about makeup. I love makeup. And they're just going back and forth and back. Tai tries to stop it, but Brandi and Ming are just going in on each other, and Brandi can get loud. So she was very loud. And Brandi says, if I'm petty, you're going to know I'm petty. If I'm throwing shade, you're going to know I'm throwing shade. And then Ming starts to play her imaginary violin, which cracked me up for some reason. So all this commotion is happening. Jac'Eil goes in, try and see what is going on. So they all go to the kitchen, and Ming says, well, we were all talking about us not being in agreement with Brandi inviting Jennifer for Evelyn's birthday. So then Brandi goes off on everybody. She says, you can all leave. Don't talk about me. Chantel says, so can we not speak our minds? And Brandi then starts being a little sarcastic with Chantel. She's like, I'm so sleepy. And Chantel says, well, then go to bed. And Brandi says, okay, Chantel, okay, sweetheart, what's going on? What do you want to say to me? And then Chantel starts to get a little agitated. She says, don't call me sweetheart. You're being childish. And Brandi says, no, this is all childish. I'm not your child, and I'm not your mother. And Tai says to Brandi, you're being very hostile. Like, we should all just go change and try to relax. So back to Jen and Christian. So Jen is telling him who is going to be attending the wedding. And when she says Brandi, Christian says, why? She's been siding with Evelyn. And Jennifer's like, yeah, I know, but I already talked to her about it. And then Christian says, if you want to invite her, that's fine, but I'm not going to forget she was on the other side. Okay, I'm done with Christian. Like I said, it's getting weird, and I think Evelyn might have been onto something. But Jennifer does decide to stop by the house just to say hi. We hear the doorbell, and Jac'Eil goes to answer the door, but that's where the episode ended. Oof, a lot of drama happening in this episode. But y'all want to know what the craziest part is? I feel like I would imagine that the reason why Brandi really invited Jennifer was because, again, it is a show, and production probably told her to do it to keep the story going. So the fact that the women were all so mad, it was a little dumb in my opinion. And to be honest with y'all, I don't like Brandi. I don't like Brandi Maxiell at all. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say she's not really in the wrong when it comes to Ming. Ming is trying to find an issue because she's jealous that Tai, has been paying a little bit of attention to Brandi. But at the same time, Ming, you're the one that told Tai that you didn't want nothing to do with her. And, you didn't even want to be friends, really. So, you gotta make up your mind and don't, go towards Brandi. I will say, some women are, extremely jealous. It's a little alarming. But y'all, let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Whose side are you on, and what did you make of this whole thing? Please let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.